What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Wiz Talk with Chase. I'm your host, Chase Coburn, here with you today. Guys, you could hear the excitement in my voice because today is the day, June 23rd, 2026. It is NBA Draft Day, and the Washington Wizards are on the clock starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. They have the number one overall selection, and the conversation that's been going on for the last 6 weeks that we haven't touched to the fullest extent yet right here on this show is the question at number one. Is it Dybantsa or Darryn Peterson? We're going to break that down right here on Wiz Talk with Chase. So if you guys do enjoy, please subscribe, follow, share, do what you need to do to keep up with all of the content. All right. This is not going to be one of those 15 to 20 minute long extrapolated breakdowns, but I am going to provide you my quick, informative analysis on who the Washington Wizards should take at number one overall. If you want my truest opinion, Chase Coburn here on June 23rd, 2026. If it was up to me, if I was calling the shots in Washington, D.C., which I am rocking the Trae Young jersey, but I'm not calling the shots, I would pick A.J. Dybantsa. If it were my choice at number one, I would go A.J. And the reason why is simply that I think him and Darryn have equally as high potential. I think they could each be incredibly gifted offensive players. I think Dybantsa may have a little bit more versatility defensively, but I think you could argue that Peterson probably has more potential as an outside shooter. I think we saw that at Kansas. And so they have the same potential. But for me, it comes down to, if you're the Washington Wizards, who has the lower floor at that point? Because you don't get these chances every single day. Number one picks don't grow on trees. This is the type of momentum and the type of opportunity that Wizards fans have been waiting for so long. Because they got in this new regime. They've been doing the right things. They've been deconstructing. They've gotten bad to get good, but they haven't had great lottery luck. And this is finally the bounce and the lottery ball that the Wizards needed to go their way that did go their way. And so, given the fact that it's simply, you can't screw this up, you have to take AJ. Because while I think Peterson can be just as great, I think there's also a higher likelihood that Darryn Peterson is a bust than AJ Dybantsa. I'm not saying Peterson is going to be a bust. I think Peterson's going to be great, as will Dybantsa. But the opportunity is more likely in Peterson's case than in Dybantsa's forget a skill standpoint, just from an availability standpoint. And there's a lot of ambiguity regarding why Darryn Peterson missed so much time last year at Kansas. But what we know is that AJ Dybantsa was consistently available, consistently praised as a teammate and as a leader, and led that group as an individual that wasn't overly talented at Brigham Young. He averaged over 25 a game, which led the nation. Consensus first-team All-American as a freshman. Again, alongside a group that I watched him was not among the elite of the elite in college basketball. And so I think the question becomes, what do you want if you're the Wizards? Let's break them all down. Dybantsa is your 6'9" wing who could shoot the mid-range as good as anybody. Obviously, because of that, he's going to have more length, more defensive versatility, while those results maybe haven't been foreseen yet on the court. That's the skill set you get with AJ. Not as efficient from three-point range, but probably a better three-level scorer than Peterson, perhaps. For Darryn Peterson, he is probably a better overall scorer, can shoot better from the outside, a little bit more athletic, a little bit more dynamic. I've seen some like mini Michael Jordan type of comparisons. I think obviously those are a little bit exaggerated, but I do think he could be a very, very talented scorer. And I don't know if they both reach their potential, which again is the if, I don't think you can go wrong. But again, if you're the Wizards, you can't guarantee to the fullest extent that they're both going to reach their potential. And what we do know is that Dybantsa has been more available, that Dybantsa probably has a better build for this, that Dybantsa has been more consistent, that Dybantsa has a more well-rounded skill set, and that inherently rises your floor along with the talent and the intangibles that we saw at Brigham Young, that we saw at Utah Prep, that we've seen from the time he was 13 years old when he was being hyped up by the Sports Illustrators of the world. Those intangibles coupled with the consistency and the availability, we know that that mesh together creates not only an extremely high floor, but a ceiling that goes through the roof. I personally see a Kevin Durant type of career and a Kevin Durant type of ability from AJ Dybantsa. I think he is going to be that good. I've watched him. I've watched his ability offensively. The last time I've ever seen someone that prolific from the mid-range with that type of a skill set is Kevin Durant. And it's not that Darryn Peterson can't reach that type of offensive prowess. But Dybantsa provides more and provides that enhanced skill set more often because he's on the court more. And so that's my view. I think there's a reason why AJ was the number one to begin with. And I will say the one thing that scares me with AJ, the one little thing, is that he has been, from the time he was 13 years old, hyped up as the number one player in this class. He has been told from the time he was in middle school that he was going to be called number one. And he does not have an ego at all. He wants to win games. He's a team player. He said he wants to be remembered as a great teammate. He has the last thing from an ego. But that type of expectation scares me long term. I look at Zion. I look at Amani Bates. I know that's going to sound weird. I look at Ben Simmons. We'll see what Cooper Fly could do. Sometimes those expectations are too high for some. But then there's, on the contrary, there's Victor Wembanyama and there's LeBron James. And there's guys that are either already have cemented or are in the midst of cementing all-time great careers, despite staggeringly high expectations that they are already exceeding themselves. Can AJ Dybantsa be the next LeBron James or Victor Wembanyama? I think he can. I think he's that good. And that's why the original gut instinct from the time that Mark Tatum said the Wizards had the first pick, when I went on the air screaming, going crazy like a lunatic, the initial gut feeling was go AJ. Because he has proven time in and time out that he is the most talented, that he is the most capable, that he is the most consistent. And while I do have a slight fear of the expectation, I don't think the lights are going to get too bright for him. I think he's only going to excel as the lights get brighter. And I think he is going to be that franchise player that the Wizards have been desperately searching for. So, folks, tonight's the night. If the Wizards draft Darryn Peterson, am I going to be mad? No. I will not be angry. However, I would caution you with some of the risks in terms of availability. I think Dybantsa is the greater overall package, and if it were up to me, I'd be going AJ Dybantsa tonight. But that's the fun, is that Chase Coburn, the 15-year-old from Fairfield, Connecticut, doesn't make that choice. It's up to Will Dawkins and Michael Winger. And whoever they do take, I have the utmost of trust in Winger. I have the utmost of trust in Dawkins. I am putting all of my faith into this front office. Is that a mistake? I don't think so. Because everything they've done so far has been fantastic. And so wherever they go, even though I personally hope it's Dybantsa, I am going to trust Michael Winger and Will Dawkins and the decision they make tonight and support that and back that. Because they were hired to run this franchise. They've done it really, really well considering the mess that they inherited 3 years ago. And I expect them to continue to achieve great things here in Washington, D.C. Hope you guys do enjoy. I want to let you know I'm going to be on Fox 5 DC at 3:15 p.m. Eastern to break down the NBA draft later on tonight. If you guys want to see that, again, if you're a local in DC, Fox 5 DC, you guys are going to want to check that out. We'll be posting it kind of on this platform if you guys aren't able to see that. And if you guys haven't seen my full NBA mock draft, that's going to be somewhere on the screen here at the end of the video, where I did pick AJ Dybantsa number one, but you can then see my full NBA mock draft, who I have going at which position, etc., etc., etc. Hope you guys did enjoy today's shortened edition of Wiz Talk with Chase, and stay tuned for continuous coverage, a number one pick reaction, an entire NBA draft reaction, because the Wizards do have some selections in the second round that could trade into the first round. We're going to break down the subsequent results that are to come from this NBA draft, that domino effect. We're going to recap that. And then before you know it, it's free agency, and then it's summer league, and then things quickly start to turn to NBA season, and it becomes a really, really exciting time. Wizards fans, enjoy tonight. It's going to be a really, really fun night, and we'll see you next time right here on Wiz Talk with Chase. See you next time.